This is a complete mod guide for the mod Multipart Machines Grinding. This is a really, really cool mod where you can make loads and loads of mob farms, as we can see here, going all the way up to the dragon and the wither. So, the first thing we're going to want to need is a grinder crafter. You will notice that it just needs a mob catcher, which is basically a sort of glass jar contraption, etc. And we can then place down our grinder crafter. Now in here, this is where we're going to make our grinders. Here is a zombie grinder, here is a blaze here is a blaze grinder, and here's a piglin grinder. So, if we go into the grinder crafter and press this little book icon, you can see there is different chapters of instructions. The grinder crafter chapter is showing you how to make the grinders, like I just showed you, blaze, piglin, zombie. The second one, the grinder controller, is showing you the outputs you will get from those grinders. For example, the zombie grinder will give you tiny essence, rotten flesh, carrots, and potatoes. We have the wither, the dragon, and the egg crafter. I'm going to show you these later separately. So, let's use the zombie, the blaze, and the piglin as an example, and I'm using those three for specific reasons here. What you will see at the bottom here is that in the grinder crafter again, to make a grinder crafter for zombies, we need 4 world growth potions, oak logs, rotten flesh, and mob catcher zombie. So mob catchers are the jars I showed you before. What you need to do is hold them in your action bar here. Some people have made comments that they haven't been able to get it working, and people in other comments in forums, etc., have said to use it in your hand. So if you can't get it working, then try it in your offhand, etc. But it's working for me in my hotbar here. So that's all I can say really, is that it's working here. This is on 1.21.1. So what you need to do, zombie, make sure you kill the zombie with the mob catcher in your action bar, etc. And you will get the essence of a zombie here. Okay, so I just killed it, making sure that I had this in my inventory, on my hotbar at least. Let's just test it. If I put it in my inventory, does it work? Yes, it does. So it could be anywhere in your inventory, these mob catchers. Now remember, for a zombie, we're going to need, I think it's 16 mob catcher zombies. So you need 16 jars, kill 16 zombies. Now this is going to make you unlimited zombies. So it is worth killing 16 to then get unlimited. And the other one was, I think it was rotten flesh. And there we go. It's very, very quick, almost instantaneous. We've got 4 grinder zombies. World growth potions are just some string, rotten flesh, gunpowder, etc. and short grass. Very easy to get. I take out the grinder and I place it. And there we go. There is our mob farm, basically, for our zombie. Now, you can't interact with it from the top. You can only interact with it from the bottom. You can see it can take forge energy here. However, it doesn't actually connect to other mods. It's really, really unfortunate. But what we can do is shift-click a hopper onto it and power it with coal. And that will fill up this bar. You can also put your coal into this little slot here manually. I would recommend putting a hopper on, or, you know, adding some sort of applied logistics route into your hopper with an output bus, export bus, and then that going into the hopper, into the coal, etc. But it does only seem to work with hoppers and putting coal in here to power this. It's the one downside to this mod. Now what you can see here is a little upgrade button. So it's going to be really, really slow, which is kind of understandable. I mean, you know, you have the world speed upgrade made like this, the never speed upgrade made like this, the ender speed upgrade made like this, and then the creative speed upgrade, which you can't get. So these work, you put them in this slot and it speeds up how fast you get stuff. If I put the creative one in here, you can see it's insatiably fast. Very, very fast indeed. So what you're going to see is that in this controller here, we've got 64 potatoes, 64 carrots, and 64 rotten flesh, and also tiny essence. So zombies will make you tiny essence. Let's just go back into our crafter in the book and go to the output tab. Can you see here that zombies, spiders, skeletons, creepers, sheep, etc. will all give you tiny essence? This is going to matter in a minute. I can take out the tiny essence, and I can shift right click that to use it up, and you will actually gain that as experience. What you can also do is put a chest beneath it And as you can see, it's going to collect up all these items in the chest beneath it for you. And voila, we've got an automated zombie farm. So then, how do we make the better ones? If we go into our crafter again and click the instructions tab, and you can see there's 2 pages here. If we go to the next page, you can see that then at one point it turns to medium essence. So rather than needing, in fact, let me go one step back. You can see here that chickens, cows, pigs, etc., sheep, you use, seeds, wheat, etc. to make them. So zombies, we use rotten flesh to make the crafter. Zombies then give us tiny essence. You then need tiny essence for these mob crafters. Armadillos, mushrooms, phantoms, rabbits, slime, snow golem, etc. Sniffers, wardens. Really? Wardens? Blazes. So we've made our tiny essence from our zombies, and now we're going to use that small essence. Sorry. What we're going to do, I've actually missed out a step here. You're going to get our tiny essence given to us by zombies, and then you go back to the crafter tab and go, right, what can I make with tiny essence then? I would probably say magma cubes in the nether are going to be the easiest to find, or maybe rabbits. And then what you do is you go to, okay, well, what do rabbits give me? Well, rabbits will give me small essence. So basically, you're using one of the first ones on this page with base ingredients to make mobs that will give you tiny essence, like a rabbit one. So then I'm going to go out and kill 16 rabbits, get their essence, make a crafter, or a grinder even, with tiny essence, etc., and the other ingredients, power it, with your coal, etc., blah, blah, blah. And then what rabbits will give you is small essence. And I go, okay, cool. Now I've got small essence. What can I make with that? I can make my blaze, for example. So I need to get 4 nether growth potions, which, again, very simple to make. Some crimson and warped roots, etc. My small essence for my rabbits, nether bricks. I kill 16 blazes, or 8 blazes, as you can see here. And then I make the grinder. Blazes then give me, blazes down here, medium essence. So with medium essence, I go, right, what can I make with medium essence? You're probably starting to get the gist of this without me really having to tell you now. Piglins take medium essence. So again, just 4 nether growth potions and 4 nether bricks. I put the medium essence in from my blazes and I get piglins. What do piglins give me? Well, you'll notice here that evokers, iron golems, witches, piglins, and wither skeletons give big essence. Big essence is used for the wither and the ender dragon spawners, needing nether bricks for the wither and end stone bricks for the dragon. You make these grinders and you place them down, and you need to put your hopper. See where this center brick is? That's where you interact with it, in this center one. You put your hopper there, and unfortunately it's in the same bit where you have to put the hopper that you can interact with it, and you put the chest underneath there too. And to actually spawn the wither, it's a little bit different in these grinders. You actually have to input items. I need to put in some wither skeleton skulls and soul sand, as if you were making a normal wither. And as you can see with the creative speed upgrade, it makes them very fast and outputs it to the chest just underneath here. Nether stars and wither roses. Same with the end dragon. You put in here your coal, and you also put in end crystals. End crystals, and you can see it's going into the machine in here, and that will output for you. You can see how slow it is without an upgrade. Very, very slow. I put this one on just before I pressed record. So in the last sort of 10 minutes, you can see what we've got, and that's how slow it is, which I think is fine, really, considering what it's making. And you get dragon eggs and dragon's breath. And obviously it still needs coal. If you want to look in here, you can see with a controller, it shows you what it needs and what it makes. Same with the dragon. And then we have the egg crafter. So the egg crafter is after you've made the dragon one. So it's easy to make. It needs a big essence, which you will already have at this point. You make it like this, and then you just plonk it down. Plonk. Here it is. Here's one I made earlier. And what you do in here is you put in some big essence and dragon eggs and nether stars, and you can make spawn eggs. So when I originally looked at this, I thought, what? That's what you need just to make a zombie egg. But now that I've gone through it, it makes sense, because obviously it's like the progression of the mod. You make the wither spawner, you make the dragon spawner, and now you can make whatever eggs you like with the output of those spawners. So in the egg crafter, you can put in 1 essence of chicken, 1 big essence, 1 dragon egg, and 1 nether star, and get a chicken spawn egg. Now, obviously, if you put the upgraded speed upgrades in here, or you make multiple of these, you will actually be getting dragon eggs, etc., quite fast. So if I put in chicken essence in here, you can see this is how fast it goes, and it's going to be making me chicken spawn eggs. And there we go, everyone. That is how you use the Multipart Machines grinding mod. I hope that tutorial was useful for you. Again, do click the link in the description if you'd like your own server for 10% off at Gportal. I really do mean it. They are the absolute best when it comes to servers. I'm actually quite blown away by how good their servers are. And you can also join my Patreon in the description to, 1, support the channel, and secondly, to join the Patreon server, which I now stream on, where you can ask me any questions and request mods, etc. You can also comment down below for any mods that you would like. I do check all the comments on this channel, and I'd love to hear which mods you want to see covered next. I do have some shelves here, tech mods, magic mods, utility, and standalone mods here as well. Utility and standalone mods means it's not in a playlist, it's just a video on its own for the whole mod, for example. But please do subscribe, leave a thumbs up, and again, let me know your comments down below.